What's up, guys? Back with me is here. We got Smallville Season 6, Episode 14, Trespasses. Okay, so this episode starts off with Lana, and she's like looking at the dagger, the dagger, Clark's dad's dagger that Clark tried to put in Clark, but it got bent because Clark. Yeah, so that's when someone keeps taking pictures of her, and yeah, so she tries to. So Lex like, what's wrong? And she's like, oh yeah, it's just a paparazzi. So what does Lex do? He says that he has to go on business and doesn't show up again until the end of the episode. So yes, so this episode. So Lana, she's feeling like the stalker's after her. So she first goes to Chloe, and then Chloe tells Clark, and Clark goes Clark, and Clark feels like he has to defend her, but she's like, no, she's 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 fine, it's fine. So yeah, so Clark and Jimmy, Jimmy feels like Clark and Chloe like each other, so he's like, if you ever hurt her, I'll hurt you. So yeah, and he's like, me and Chloe, really, dude. Yeah. So so yeah. So the stalker calls her. So she moves into the Kent's house. We're seeing Clark. We saw Clark's bedroom for the fourth time, and yeah. So right. So yeah. So the stalker keeps trying. So she goes to the Luther mansion where the stalker pic, you know, takes pictures of her, and then the security guard, the guys are not killed or something, and he's like, yeah. So the security guard, who's named Mac, I think it is, he's like, oh yeah, he really is. He's actually the stalker, and he's actually a stalker, and he's like, oh yeah, you've already been poisoned by Lex. You're already starting to talk like him, think like him, and yeah, don't you want your don't you want your who you were back? And it's kind of creepy, but she's like, but then she tricks him. They fall into they fall into like the loser, like he dies, I think, and Clark saves. Somehow Clark gets there. He saves her, and yeah. So Lex appears at the end of the episode, where he says, "Hey, Lana," but then he talks to Clark, and he's like, "Hey, Clark, I want you to appear at my wedding." And he's like, "Why would I do that?" He's like, "I want you to appear at my wedding to see what you have lost." So yeah, this episode was kind of good, but kind of also boring until the end. Like, who cares about a stalker who's trying to? I feel like last episode was kind of actually good. That's why I didn't talk more about this episode because I think kind of boring. Lana having a stalker is like, okay, why is a stalker like yeah, I feel like last episode was pretty good. I feel like Lex's line where he says that Clark should be at the wedding to feel like what he lost is very interesting because it's like Clark did lose Lana, but he lost Lana for a reason. He lost Lana because he wanted to protect her from knowing his secret, which that's why he broke it off with her without asking her to marry him, and that's why she moved into Lex. And that's what we saw. That's what we saw in episode 12. In Clark's mind, the one that he had was the Lana he always wanted, but a little different was because she never knew Whitney. She was always with Clark. She never had a good relationship with Lex. In Clark's mind, that's what he wants Lana to be, I think. He wants Lana to always be devoted to him. I think. I'm not trying to make Clark be the bad guy or anything. But yeah, I'm just saying that. I just feel like Lex's line saying that Clark should show up his ring to feel like to know what Clark has given up is just like a good line because it's like Clark didn't mean to do it. He doesn't like Lana and Lex together as I don't like Lana and Lex together because Lana thinks that she's in an open relationship with Lex. But as we've seen and as the viewership has seen, Lex is kind of a liar. Lex is kind of a liar, and that's why Lana doesn't knows that she thinks she knows the real Lex Luthor, but she doesn't because she doesn't know who Lex really is. He's experienced. He's using 3.1 to experiment on people to make them into an army, and that's what Green Arrow and the Justice League are trying to stop. Smallville Justice League are trying to stop because they don't want Lex to do what he's doing. And I kind of like that Lana thinks that she's in on an open relationship with Lex. She thinks she knows him, but and no, she doesn't. She doesn't know Lex at all. Lex is a liar. He's awful. He's awful. I don't like him anymore. I used to like Clark. I always liked his and Clark bromance, but when they ended friendship, that bromance broke up, and that turned Lex into the villain. That turned Clark into the hero. We all knew that day when Lex became the villain would come, but we're okay. See, because just like with Clark, Lex had secrets, and as I was saying, Lana thinks that she's here's Lex and Clark. I'm using my hands. Lana thinks that she's in a relationship, an honest relationship with Lex, the one that she couldn't have with Clark. But with Lex, just like Clark, Lex has secrets that Lana doesn't know, and she probably will never know Lex's secrets. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That Lana thinks she's in an open relationship, but she's not, and Lex lies. Clark lies to protect his secret. Lex is lying to hide something. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you next Smallville.